Being trans in Namibian on a day-to-day basis means that as a trans Black Namibian woman or man, you need to prepare yourself mentally every single day, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, because of the stigma and discrimination that you will face on the streets of Windhoek.
Transgender people in Uganda is not recognized. So you find we still have to camouflage and re-exist in the bodies that we were assigned at birth, regardless of the fact that we feel we have another gender identity.
We don't have clear policies when it comes to issues of transgender. Actually, the Constitution of Zimbabwe is silent when it comes to issues of transgender, and transgender people, they are seen as homosexual.
So people still believe that gender is binary. So it's very hard and difficult to live in a country where people still believe that.
A woman who has had the unfortunate blessing of beards and you look like a man, then your life is very difficult. It's actually technically much easier to be a trans man than to be a trans woman in our context, just because of effects of patriarchy and gender norms.
As a trans man, when people see me passing the street, they be like, ah, that's a tomboy. But being a trans woman in Tanzania is quite difficult because they get harassed, abused, violated most of the time. As a trans man, honestly, I got no problem in Tanzania, personally.
It's basically living in a country where you continuously fight to be seen by a law that says, I see you. It's a weird dynamic of, how do you say to someone, you don't see me, when they say, we do?
I went to my family and I told my other family members that I need clothes that you don't put on, old clothes that you don't use. And they gave them to me and I sold them. And the money that I raised during that time, I called up all my friends that I had met through the networking that I did and just bought some drinks and some snacks and just formulated this support group because I felt like there was need for us to talk. And in the process of us networking and talking, it just so happened that people started talking about their experiences, what they go through as trans people, wherever they're coming from.
I was asked to make a program. There were funds that were accessed, so I decided to go for a Master and Miss Sexual Diversity Contest. So it was a huge success. There were no funds much given to us to say, this is how you can have the prizes. So I had to fundraise in terms of making some tickets, selling those tickets for R5 each, to come up with prizes for the winners, for the eventual winners.
I was beaten because of my gender. Then after that, I decided to come up with the strategies of opening some organization where it will help some transgender overcome some challenges around the society.
I facilitated a session amongst friends and family, and the mother calls me aside, outside, and then she says, you know what, thank you. For the first time, I'm able to understand my child and what my child goes through. But also you've helped me as a parent to understand that I'm losing one child and actually gaining another, because it is a journey that you take people on. So when you hear small messaging like that, I don't want to change the law. I just want one mother out there to just get up and say she's accepted her child.
My biggest achievement, looking at the socio-economic status of trans people and trans women specifically in Uganda, I started an agriculture farm, a farm that produces cash crops. It is used by the trans people. It is employing the trans people. It also brought about a saving and cooperative society for the trans women themselves.
So that's why it's an achievement, because the moment I transitioned, the moment I knew my constitution, the moment I empowered myself as an individual, that's the moment I got freedom, because that's the day I was happy, because I said, this is myself.
C'était juste la façon dont je voyais que j'étais et ma communauté transgenre était, et je me suis dit, je dois me battre. Je dois me battre pour ma communauté, je dois me battre pour leurs lois, pour ce qu'ils doivent avoir comme en tant qu'humain. Ouais, un peu c'est ça.
For me to have access to such great people who are going through struggles, them being leaders themselves, I always feel like it's a privilege to have access to such a community, because that's where you find that that's where the real leaders are. These are people that have been thrown into the wolves and are always able to come out. Yeah.
What this means is we're in this space, we're talking about the same challenges, we're talking about the same problems, we're talking about issues that are affecting other human beings that also affect us as people that live the reality. So I feel like this is a great space for us to network. It's a great space for us to talk about issues that are happening regionally and how we're going to solve these problems.
Kwangu najisikia vizuri ajili kuikaa pamoja na watu wenye tunachangia same idea, tunachangia objective moja, najisi kama vile niko katika family. It helps to come here, meet different people from different countries and learn from them on how they address some issues in their countries.
Hii ina maana njema kwangu kwa sababu ni sehemu ya kujua kwamba trans tuko sehemu nyingi ya dunia. Pia ni space ya kukutana na kujaribu kushare changamoto, kuelewa kwamba hawa.
It's encouraging, it's motivating, you know, it gives me more passion to keep doing what I'm doing, because at the end of the day I know I have allies that I can rely on.
The problem that we have is when we work in silos, we are unable to make the kind of impact that we need to make. Also, there's strength in numbers, and everybody keeps saying it, even in the room.
It says to me that this is African, that it exists, that it doesn't just exist in South Africa, which is extremely westernized, and it's not a Western concept. It exists all over the continent. It is an African identity. It's extremely affirming. We are the blueprint. There's no blueprint before us. So we're reimagining what life looks like to be trans, what love looks like, what work looks like, what laws could look like.